New studies highlight increase in hate crime. Two reports have brought the spotlight to bear on hate crime against the disabled. A survey by the Muscular Dystrophy campaign's Trailblazers group, under investigation, says 2 out of 3 young disabled people questioned had been taunted or verbally abused because they are disabled. The charity's campaign is now calling on all police authorities to treat hate crimes in the same way as other crime and to make it easier for people with disabilities to report them. Bobby Ansell, project manager of the Muscular Dystrophy campaign Trailblazers, said it was disturbing that in 2012 young disabled people were still facing this kind of abuse. Many of those who tell us about incidents of unprovoked abuse and threatening behaviour have no idea that they have been victims of a hate crime in the eyes of the law, he said. People feel that attacks have to be sustained and physical for the police to take them seriously, and that sadly day-to-day intimidation and verbal abuse must just be tolerated. Some police authorities have put a lot of work into making disability hate crime easier to report, including special training for officers to ensure they understand that hate crime against the disabled is exactly that, crime. The other report comes from the Equality and Human Rights Commission, which carried out a disability harassment inquiry in Wales. It says some 100,000 disabled people were victims in 2009 to 10, and the 4 police forces in the country all saw rises in reported disability hate crime in 2010 to 11. People told us they routinely experienced different forms of harassment such as name-calling, physical violence, bullying and cyberbullying, sexual harassment, domestic violence and financial exploitation, the report said. Some disabled people say they just accept it as inevitable and live with it, and others try to rearrange their lives to avoid abusive situations. The Welsh Government has identified tackling disability hate crime as a top equality priority, and new equalities duties should enable public authorities to prioritise and deliver on the issue. The inquiry wants leaders to show a determination to eliminate harassment and to create partnerships that prevent and respond to harassment. It also wants to see an increase in reporting of hate crimes. Simon Green, a member of the Bridgend Coalition of Disabled People and a wheelchair user, said, "Whether it is mimicking and name-calling or brutal violence, the effect it has on someone already struggling to live with a disability is devastating. And if the findings of this campaign help improve or just save one person's life, it will be well worthwhile." South Wales police figures show that there were 379 reported disability hate crimes in 2010 to 11, an increase of 214 on the previous year. Other forces also showed year-on-year increases, but in much smaller numbers, with Gwent Police receiving 44, up from 37, and Dyfed Powys doubling from 8 to 16, and North Wales Police up from 13 to 14. Flashback to your voice of July 2011. Hate crime. Disabled face growing hostility from strangers. Disabled people have faced greater hostility from the public since the government launched its controversial benefit reforms, according to a survey. A majority said they experience hostility, discrimination and even physical attacks from strangers every week, and more than a third claimed the position had worsened over the previous 12 months. Victims blame ministers for portraying all people with disabilities as scroungers as they seek to cut the number of people on disability benefits, including the 2.9 million people in receipt of disability living allowance and the 1.9 million deemed physically unable to work, currently given incapacity benefit. Scope, which commissioned the survey, said there was a powerful evidence that the backdrop of negativity behind the cuts was leading to a rise in hostility and even violence towards some of the most vulnerable in society. Around 2/3 of the 676 surveyed said that they expected to experience discrimination when trying to find a job, and more than half expected to be discriminated against in the workplace.